Gurubhyo namaha Harihi Om. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet Shruti smriti purananam alayam karunalayam namami bhagavat pada shankaram loka shankaram shankaram shankaracharyam keshavam badarayanam sutra bhashya krito vande bhagavando punah punah. Om Shri Ganesha Sharada Gurubhyo namaha Shivaya Gurave namaha. Om Vidwattamo Vidibhayaha. Vidwattamaha. There are two words, Vidwat and Tamaha. Tamaha means Uttamaha, superlative. Vidwan means scholar. Uttamaha means the best. Vidwattaraha means a better scholar. Vidwattamaha means the best scholar. That is the meaning, word meaning of Vidwattamaha. Like cool, cooler, coolest. Vidwan, Vidwattaraha, Vidwattamaha. Vidwan is cool. Vidwattaraha is a better Vidwan. Vidwattamaha is the best Vidwan, where everything, all the Vidya ends in whom. That is the meaning of Vidwattamaha. Superlative Vidwan. If a Vidwan has a doubt, he will go to a Vidwattaraha, one who knows a little bit more than him. And what will the Vidwattaraha do? He will have to go to Vidwattamaha. So that is Vishnu. Anybody who is Vidwattaraha, Brahmaji. All the Vidwans are doing what? They are learning the Vedas. They are learning Atmajnanam. And when they have doubt in that, they go to Vidwattaraha, which is Brahmaji. They go to Brahmaloka finally to resolve all their doubts. And even Brahma, he goes to whom? His Guru. That is why we say, Narayanam Patmabhuvam Vasishtham. Narayana gave to Patmabhuva. Who is Patmabhuvu? Brahmaji. Patmabhuvu is Brahma. And Patmabhuva gave to Vasishtha. Who is Vasishtha? Atri, Bhrigu, Vasishtha, Narada. They are all the Manasa Putra of Brahma. So it's always given to the Shishya, who is always the son, generally. Because Narada did not marry, he gave it to everybody. He gave it to Shuka. And Shuka sat and spoke to thousands of people. So each one of them got their parampara. But always it is handed over through parampara. It is given through a parampara. It is not just, it's not something which has a beginning in time and end in time. What is the problem with something with beginning and end in time? Then it becomes Paurushaya. If it is Paurushaya, then all the Purusha doshas will happen. Whatever Shastriji had, all these doshas will come to the teaching as well. That is why it has to be Apaurushaya. For that, it has to start with Vidwattamaha, the flawless Vidwan, who is Vishnu. This is what Vidwattamaha, the word meaning is, one who has superlative knowledge. Because in the world we have got this Taratamya. Taratamya means what? It is a huge thing in Madhva Siddhanta. In the Madhvacharya, he talks about Taratamya. He says, Hari Sarvottama. Vayu is Jivottama. Among all the Jivas. So he has that gradations. Because it is a fact. It is a fact you see in the world. You don't see that everybody's knowledge is exactly the same. There is gradation in knowledge. The word Tara and Tama is the mother of the word Taradamya. Tara means better, Tama means best. You always have that gradation in knowledge. Something can be better than, in fact, the very foundational attitude of science is, it has to be better. If it is going to be like that, then they don't agree. They have to build upon that concept. That is called Taratamyam. That Taratamyam is a fact in this world. And with Vishnu is the end of that Taratamyam. Why? Because it is superlative. Vidwattamaha. Taratamyam ends in Tamap. That is what Shankara says. Nirasta adishayam jnanam. Nirasta means negated. Adishayam jnanam. Adishayam jnanam means this very special knowledge. So you think this is the end of it. even that will be negated by Vishnu. He will always have something more than that. All the Adishayam Jnanam is with Brahmaji. But Vishnu's knowledge is even better than that. Paramatma, Parameshwara's knowledge is even better than. Adishayam Jnanam. Adishayam means the best. Sarvadishayam, the best among all Jnanam. Even that is Nirastam. That is also is negated, invalidated. Because Vishnu is more valid than all knowledge. Nirasta Adishayam Jnanam Sarvada. Always. It's not like I had to check. He doesn't have to do that. Sarva Gocharam. Always it is present. Gocharam means present. Asya Asti. That kind of jnanam he has. In other words, his knowledge is not limited by time and space. That is why Sarvada. Sarvada means all the time. Sarva Gocharam means no spatial limitation. That is what he is saying. Sarvada takes care of Kala. Sarva Gocharam takes care of Desha. In both sense, spatial and in both sense, he does not have limitation. Na idaresham, not for others. Who are the others? Brahma, etc. Starting from Brahma to all the Manushyas. Brahma to Shakuntala Devi. Entire knowledgeable people. For them, they don't have the Sarvadishayatva. They don't have the power to negate. That is why Vishnu is Vidwattama, one who has superlative Vidwatta scholarship. Now, what will this jnanam do to you? When you get this jnanam, what happens? You become Vitabhayaha. What happens to you? You become Vidabhaya. Vidabhaya means one whose bhayam is gone. What is bhayam? Bhayam means fear. What is fear? Fear means not knowing what will happen. That's how the Vidurniti in Mahabharata starts. Next day morning, Krishna is going to come as a messenger for Pandava. And when he comes, he has to part with something. He knows he is coming asking. He's going to come and ask donation on behalf of Pandavas. And he doesn't want to give. So he doesn't know how much. So he's so scared. So he cannot sleep. When you get bhayam, you will not be able to. Not only when you want to bhayam, when you want to steal, you cannot sleep. You don't have any bhayam. But yeah, no, that's what Vidura says. There are 6 reasons why people don't sleep. And bhayam is a prominent reason. Bhayam is a very prominent reason. And that bhayam is because of ignorance. What? Ignorance of what? Ignorance of what will happen. And because Vishnu is Vidwattamaha, there is nothing left to be known by him. There is no possibility of any fear. So people always ask, I'm afraid, what will happen to my job? What will my wife say? That nobody said. But they generally say that there is an unknown fear hankering on my head. How do I get rid of it? What should I do? What puja should I do? What archana you should do? No amount of puja or archana will take care of the fear. Only knowledge will help you transcend fear. So that is why he is Vidabhayaha. Vishnu is Vidabhayaha because he is Vidwattamaha.
What are the 6 reasons?
We have to read Mahabharata. I think Chorinam, Kaminam. The student is here, right here.
I was just thinking, just hoping that you would actually look at me.
So, Bhitam. Bhita means one who is afraid. Chora means a thief. Kami means a person who has a desire. A Rugunam, a person who is sick. A person who is sick, he may not have any fear, but he can, the zeal is over, the Walgreens is closed, and then they have that insomnia or that Rugunam. Those people can also lose sleep. So we got to 4. That is the first part of Vidurniti, look it up. So he is Vidabhayaha. Who is Vidabhayaha? Vishnu is Vidabhayaha. Why? Because Udaramantaram kurute athatasya bhayam bhavati. That's what the Veda says. When you split up things, you get afraid. Ut, inside. Aram, bhedam. What is aram? Bhedam, division. When you make division, what is division? Doubt. In conviction, you found out what is microbe. After learning, doing Sushrusha to all the great scientists in the world, you found out what microbe. Like, without any doubt, now you know, you are a microbe specialist. Then what happens? You are very convinced. Until somebody dismisses your idea, you know everything about microbe. But a person who has not attained that state, what will happen? He'll have a split mind. Is it really microbe or not? He'll have that doubt. So doubt is always splitting up. This or that. That is the very definition of doubt. Ubhaya tara kotikam jnanam samshayaha. Sthanuhu purushova. The object I am seeing in dim light, is it a pillar or a man? Is it a pillar or a person? That kind of split knowledge will be there in doubt. And who creates this doubt in your mind? You. Utu aram antaram kriyade. You go inside you and you make this, you split yourself up. And when you have that, you'll have bhayam. So Vishnu does not have that problem. Because everything sarva gocharam. Even in the dim light, he sees both very clearly. Since he does not see two, now bhayam pashyati. Because of that, he is Vidabhayaha. So if you want to become Vidabhaya, you have two choices. One thing, you get the knowledge of everything. That's called Jnana Marga. Or you get Vishnu's Kripa. That is my Marga. You get Vishnu's Kripa, you'll become Bhayam. It is there in the Phalashruti.
Bhayam naivopa.
Jayate, Bhayam naivo. There is no possibility of Bhayam. If you are a Vishnu Bhakta, there is not even a possibility of Bhayam naiva upajayate. You cannot have. Why? Because Vedantagaha. You have already understood what has to be understood. The end of knowledge has been understood. Hence you are Bhayam naiva upajayate. There is no possibility of Bhayam. If that is the case of a Vishnu Bhakta, then naturally Vishnu is Vidabhayaha.
So this is different from Nirbhaya.
Same thing. Nirbhaya means Bhayarahita.
So same.
Yeah, Nirbhaya means before he was afraid, now he is not. Bhayam naiva upajayate means there's no possibility of Bhayam. So here he says, Vitam, Vigatam, Bhayam. Vishnu does not have any Gatam Bhayam. He does not have any Bhayam. Bhayam is always in reference to something. Bhayam is always, you are afraid of in-laws. You are afraid of banana. You are afraid of something. It is always in reference to an object. So what is the Bhayam? What is the point of reference for a Bhayam here? Samsarikam. Anything which comes from samsara. That is samsara lakshanam. So samsara lakshanam Bhayam. So here Bhayam is what? The entire creation itself is Bhayam. That is what normally happens. You create something and then you become afraid. Like Shiva. He created Bhasmasura. Like children. You create them and they come for your head. So, samsaram is the creation of who? Vishnu. Vishnu created samsaram. But he does not have that fear. That is why he is Vidabhayaha. Samsarikam bhayam asya nasti. If Vishnu is not Vidabhayaha, how are you going to surrender to him? If he himself is afraid, the dad is afraid of cockroach. What will the daughter do? Hey, there is a spider. Oh, he will run first. So, Jagatpida Vishnu is Vidabhayaha. Hence, he can take care of your Bhayam Naiva Upajayate. Hence, he can take care of your Samsarika Bhayam. So, in reference to Samsara, Vishnu does not have Bhaya. That's why he is Vidabhayaha. The next one is Punyasravana Kirtanaha. Kirtana means taking the name. Sravana means hearing that name. Sometimes you don't know the names. Then what you can do? You can only do Sravanam. After you know it, please do Kirtanam. Say it once a day. Don't say, I finished Vishnusahasranama. You don't finish it. You do it. The Vishnusahasranama says that. Achara pradhamo dharmaha dharmasya prabhurachyudaha. If you consider Achyuta as your Prabhu, then Anushtanam. You have to do it every day. When do I do it? There is no time. Pradaruthayaya patet. Wake up 19 minutes early. It only takes 19 minutes to do Vishnu Sahasranama. So if you are going to get up at 8:30, get up at 8:11. Get up at 8:11. Just 19 minutes before. Pradaruthaya yah patet. That is why Vishnu is Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. Why? Because he will create Punyam. If you don't know to chant, then there is MS Subbalakshmi. Listen to it. Simply by Sravanam, he will create Punyam. By Kirtanam, by chanting, he will create more Punyam. Because this is direct. The other one is like a copy. Copy is always worse than the original. So he is Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. Why he is Punya Sravana Kirtanaha? Because there are many people who are Punya Sravana Kirtanas. Punya Sloko Nalo Raja. Punya Sloko Yudhishthiraha. Slokaha means Kirti. If you hear the Kirti of Nala, if you hear the Kirti of Yudhishthira, Punya Slokacha Vaidehi. If you hear the Kirti of Sita, so feminists they cannot quarrel now. The feminists cannot say, oh, there is no woman, there is only Ramayana, there is no Sita. Punya Slokacha Vaidehi. Punya Sloko Nalo Raja, Punya Sloko Yudhishthiraha. Punya Sloka Javaidehi, Punya Sloko Janardanaha. So Janardanaha is Punya Sloka because among the list, he is the final. He is Paramatma. Sarveswaratvat, that is what Shankara writes. Sarveswaratvat Nityamuktatvat. Yudhishthira Vaidehi, these people are not Nityamukta. Yudhishthira and Nala. But whereas Janardana is Nityamukta. He is always free from limitations. Hence, he is the real Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. These are the slokas you chant every day morning. For having a good day, you say no, you say have a good day. If you don't have a good day, how can you say to the other person, have a good day? You know that. If you do all this, you make a good day for yourself. Things are made not by wishing. By hearing to Tattvabodha, you don't get it. By doing Anushtanam, you get Tattvabodham. So if you want to have a good day, you have to say Suprabhadam. To yourself first. It starts with yourself. Unless you make yourself a good day, the good day is not going to be made. It's all your effort. Your prayatna is what is going to make a day good. So for that we say all this in the morning. We also say for the night. In the morning itself we say that. Dussapranasana. We say that in the morning itself. So till the night, the sequel is taken early in the morning. Early in the morning you take care of your bad possibilities. So that is why Vishnu is Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. Sarveswaratvat, Nityamuktatvat. Punyam Punyagaram Sravanam Kirtanam Asya. How do you know that? Vishnu Samhita. Yaidam Shrunyan Nityam Vishnu Sahasranama. Yaidam Shrunyan Nityam Meshapi Parikirtayet Nashubham Prakniyat Kinchit Somutrehecha Manavaha. This is going to come. So whoever listens to this Vishnu Sahasranama every day, Eschavi Parikirtayet. After learning it, if you do Kirtanam, Na Ashubham Prapniyat. You will not get any inauspicious thing on your way. Where Amutra Iha. Here and hereafter. Here and hereafter. It is Sravanadi Phalavachanat. Saha Punya Sravana Kirtanaha. The next one is Uttaranaha. What is the next name? Uttaranaha. This is the opposite of Avatara. You say no, avatars are great people. They can come and say so many things to you and give a lot of license to you. Because they have the power. They are all Ishwaramsha Sambhuda. Like Raghavendra Swami is the avatar of Prahalada. Madhva is the avatar of Bhima. Ramanuja is the avatar of Adishesha. Shankara is the avatar of Shankara. Like that, everybody, these avatars, they come with a purpose, and they are Ishwaramshas. That's what the Bhagavatam says. He lists the 24 avatars of Vishnu, and then says, just like there are so many streams joining the tributaries joining the ocean, there is river joining the ocean, there are so many avatars. So many people come with a purpose. You can see with their clarity of their vision why they are here. They know for sure. And Uttara is the opposite. I spoke so much about Avatara, now you can understand who is Uttara. It's yourself. You don't have to read a Bhagavatam, just read your autobiography. That is Uttaraha, meaning one who is ready to be lifted up. What is Avatara's job? To lift you up. And what is Uttara's job? To be lifted up. That is what Shankara writes. He doesn't write it so eloquently. Very short. Samsara Sagarat Uttarayati. So Samsara Sagara yaha vartade saha uttaraha. He is the person ready to be lifted up. And who Uttarayati? Vishnu. Samsara Sagarat Uttarayati iti Uttaranaha. So the Uttaranaha is Vishnu. One who is being done this Uttaranaha is Bhaktajanaha. People who seek that. You have to seek. Then only he will come and lift you up.
So how is that Vishnu's name?
Yeah.
Like he needs to be lifted up.
Uttaranaha, the lifter.
Or is the lifter?
He is the lifter. Then you will ask who is being lifted up. I am anticipating it. The word meaning is Uttaranaha, the lifter, the uplifter. Uplifting whom? They say no, undertaker. He has to undertake somebody. So Uttaranaha means in reference to whom he is lifting up. Bhakta Janan, Swabhakta Janan. From where? From Samsaraha. Because Avataraha means coming down. Uttaraha means lifting up. So I wanted to make you famous. Like all the avatars already famous. We should get some mention. So you are the one being lifted. It has nothing to do with the word meaning. Uttaranaha means it is Vishnu. They won't talk about us here. That Uttaranaha, if you take the na away, a little bit of you is there. The bhakta is there. Samsara Sagarat Uttarayati Bhaktan. Iti Uttaranaha. I just wanted to grammatically say that Avataraha is the opposite of Uttaraha. Yeah. Ava means down. Ut means up. That I want to show. So, up means it lifts up. The one going up is the one being lifted up. Either way, he is on the top.
Uttaro is
Yeah.
the same.
Uttaraha is also that, yeah.
Uttaro Gopatir
Gopta.
Same.
The Uttaraha means causative. Uttaraha means the next one. Yeah. The word, there is an A in between. Like Padana or Patana, right? That A makes it causative in Hindi. Same way, Uttaraha and Uttaraha. Dushkritiha. How do you lift you up? If you want to be lifted up, all your dushkritis should be gone. Your account is still, you got the ticket and you did not pay it. So the cop is not going to let you go. That is your dushkriti. So somebody has to come and take care of that dushkriti. Dushkriti is the bad karma you have, which is prarabdham. It is like the reservation you have made. There is no way you can resolve it. You cannot say, I am going to give it to my neighbor. Nobody will be ready to take. Valmiki tried it. Karunakara, that was his name. He asked his wife, can you take half of it? 10%, 5%? No, you keep it. You keep all your Dushkriti. So it was left to Rama. It was left to Rama to be the Dushkriti for Valmiki. So Rama had to resolve everything. So you sit and resolve. How do you resolve? You just sit and say Vishnusahasranama. That is how he will become your Dushkritiha. Dushkritihi Papa Samjitaha Kriyaha. All the actions that are said to be Papam. That is given the name of Papam. Samjna means name. So there are a lot of words in the Veda which distinguish certain actions as Nishiddha. Like na kalanjam bhakshayet. What is kalanjam?
Theft.
Kalanjam means onion.
Oh.
Yeah. In Delhi it is very high price, so that might happen. Kalanjam means, I said bhakshayet. Bhakshayet means bhakshayet na kalanjam bhakshayet. Don't eat onion.
The seed of onion in Hindi is kalonji.
Kalonji, yeah. See kalanjam. See, now it's coming out. When I said Delhi. Okay. So na kalanjam bhakshayet means do not eat onions. Why not eat onion? Because it is a papakrityam. In the do's and don'ts, the Hare Krishnas, they don't eat it.
This is in the Veda? This is
Yeah, this is in the Veda.
not to eat onion.
Yeah.
But why?
It is papam.
Why she's asking? Why it is
It is papam. It's papam. It will lead you to papakrityam.
Really?
Yeah. Eating onion can create durvrittis. Durvriti means bad thoughts. That is why you ask Hare Krishnas why they don't eat onions. They have 4 lists of things. No intoxication, no onion and garlic or meat eating. They could just say no meat eating. Why do you say onion and garlic? Because they have found it out. They have found this Mahamantra, na kalanjam bhakshayet. So if I list all the papas, then most of the things we do will be, you figure out. So I only said one word, one sentence from the Veda. Because it is always like that. When you don't know biology, or when you don't know medicine, the way a patient looks at medicine is very different from the way a doctor will look at medicine. It will be an enlightened look. So you have to be enlightened. Unless you cannot teach the patient the entire medicine field of medicine. Ayurveda cannot be taught to him. Similarly, Veda is here to talk about the experiences of people who have gone through the inquiry of truth. And in their inquiry, they have figured out a lot of things. If you don't want to waste your time, then you can just go and follow it. Because it is said in the Veda, you do it. Otherwise, there is always explanation why. Why not? They'll tell a story. That's why the Puranas are there. There will be an entire story. Why you should eat onion and why you should not. If there is a Vedic statement, don't eat onion, there will be another Vedic statement, eat onion when you're sick. Because in Ayurveda, it's a very big medicine. There is a onion decoction or lehyam. So, every rule also has an exception. But unless you have heart disease, why would you eat a cup of onion like Chimyananda? He would always have a cup of onion in front of him. Cut onion, small, sliced. Because he was heart patient. For that it is an aushadham. So don't get one sentence of Veda and get scared. Continue eating what you are eating. But the list of this papakrityam that you find in the Vedas, Vedic statements, they say that. Dushkritihi papasamjitaha. Unless you know that kriya, you will not stop doing it. If you go to a law school, they will say that just like you mix copper with gold, make it strong, lace your argument with little bit lie. It's okay for the common good. Then when you come to Vedanta class, they'll say, no, no, no.
No, it's to make people understand.
No, just to, make them
To make
say the
a
truth.
layman understand.
Make them say the truth. To make them say the truth, you go with them, and so every rule has got an exception. So in the Vedas, like that, all these dushkrityams are listed. Why it is listed? So that you know and you can avoid them. What is the purpose of a Nishiddha karma? The purpose of saying Nishiddha karma is to avoid them. So it gives a general idea. So dushkritihi papasabnyitaha kriyaha, which are mentioned in the Vedas. Or by common sense also we can know this. By common sense we know what is good and bad. We cannot avoid it all the time. So life is very fast. It comes really fast. You really cannot avoid a lot of dushk. But you can always do the praychitta. You can take Vishnu's name, and because he is dushkritiha, he has the power to eliminate all the consequences of your dushkriti. Dushkriti has a tinge of past tense in it. It is always done. It is always, you have always finished. Smaranadi kurvadam. Okay. So dushkritihi papasamjitaha tat hantiti dushkritiha. Why he is dushkritiha? Because he is punyaha. He is the opposite of papakritya. What is Vishnu? Vishnu is punyam. Why he is called punyam? Because punyam karoti. Like in the Ayurveda, there is a statement. It's a Vedic statement actually. Ayurvai ghritam. Ghritam means ghee, the cholesterol maker.
The cholesterol remover.
In Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, it is the cause of ayuhu. Ghritam is the cause of ayuhu. Like that, the cause is said in the effect. What is the cause of ayu? What is the effect of eating ghee? Ayu. So the cause of ayu is ghritam. Ghritam itself is called ayu. Like that, Vishnu himself is called punyam. Why? Because he creates punyam. When does he create punyam? Smaranadi kurvatam. Shankara adds it. Smaranadi kurvatam means when you do Vishnu smaranam, immediately punyam is created. Why that punyam is created? To counter dushkriti, your papa. Hridyantasto hyavadrani. That's what Bhagavatam said. Hridyantastaha. How does he remove the papam? Hridyantastaha, by sitting in your heart. Vidhno de suhurt satam. Why does he do that? Because he is satam suhrt. He is the friend of the good. He is the friend of satsangis. Suhritam sat, because he is the friend of the sat. Vidhunoti. Before it comes, before the bad effects are waiting to come. You have made reservations for them already. You have set yourself up. So he sits there and he does that. Why he does that? Because he is punyaha. Smaranadi kurvadam sarvesham punyam karoti. Iti punyaha.
That is like Daharakasha Rupa.
That is the
Sits in the heart.
Ananda. Daharakasharupani means what?
Not sits in the heart.
Rupi means form. Rupi means what? One who has the form. Rupam is form. Rupi is one who has the form. One who is like that. One who is likened to that. Likened to what? Likened to Daharakasha. What is Daharakasha? The Akasha in Dahara. What is Dahara? Heart. So she is likened to the space in the heart. What is the space in the heart? Happiness, sukham. Whenever you say I'm happy, you don't say I'm happy. You say I'm happy. Because here there is the empty space. That's where you find happiness. Happiness is located in the Yaharakasha. So that is that. Here it is punyam. So smaranadi kurvatam sarvesham punyam karoti. Or Shruti Smriti Lakshanaya Vacha Punyam Achashtate. Just like the Veda lists all the Dushkriti, it also lists all the good Kriti. Sukritam is also listed in the Vedas. Satyam Vada, Dharmam Chara, Kusalan Mat Pramaditavyam, Sriyena Pramaditavyam. Don't forget to earn wealth. Bhutyena Pramaditavyam. Why you should not move away from the path of wealth? Because only with wealth you can accomplish dharma. So all this, the list of good things also are said in the Veda. That is why he is saying, Shruti Smriti Lakshanam Vacham. The words that are revealed in Shruti and Smriti, that also can cause what? Punyam. And what are those words? They are verily Vishnu. Sarvesham Shruti Smriti Lakshanaya Vacha Punyam Achaste. So by Dushkritiha, he helps in Nivritti. By Punyaha, he helps in Pravritti. So for some who has adhikara for pravritti, he gives pravritti. For those who have adhikara for nivritti, he gives that. So depending upon who has to have what, he provides. Punyaha. Then next one is Dusvapranasanaha. Bhavino anarthasya sujakan dukhan nasheti. So bhavinaha means that is which is going to happen. What is going to happen? Anartham. So an anartham is waiting to happen to you. That is called Dusvapnam. Because already you dream about it. You know what will happen if suddenly I get a heart attack. Should I have the 24/7 switch so that 911 will come? This is all Dusvapnam. Nothing is going to happen to you. But still you will have these thoughts. Don't think that Swapnam happens only in sleep. It is called Diva Swapnam. What is Diva Swapnam? There is a word in every culture. Every culture there is a word. Daydream, right? And I'm sure in Marathi, in Hindi, in all languages, because that is what we do. We sit and dream. What will happen if I win this election? What will happen if I become chairman? All that is Diva Swapnam. And that Diva Swapnam can also be Duswapnam. Because you know what you have done before. As a result, you will imagine that. And that Duswapnam is always Anartha Sujakam. It is really going to happen. There is reality to that. You cannot dismiss it as Maya. It is very real. That Nashayati. That is why he is saying Duswapna Nashanaha. All that the bad Anartha which is going to come to you, that Suchakam is Duswapnam. Tad Nashayati. That he removes. When does he remove? Dhyataha, Stutaha, Kirtitaha, Pujitascha. There are only 4 ways of approaching Vishnu. 4 possibility. There is no 5th possibility. One thing you can do with the mind. How can you approach Vishnu? With the mind. How do you approach Vishnu with the mind? Dhyataha. By dhyanam. Because you cannot meditate with the hand. You cannot meditate with the hand. Dhyanam you can do with the mind. Then you can approach Vishnu with your speech. It's called Vagindriyam. Mind is Andarindriyam. What is mind? The internal sense organ. What is Vag? The external sense organ. Karmendriyam. With that you can approach Vishnu. How do you do that? By doing Stotram. You chant with all the apaswaras in the beginning. Slowly you correct yourself. Unless you tell it out, nobody is going to tell you. So don't do stotram. Don't be afraid. Start with bathroom singing. Always sing Vishnu's name. Hatatrapaha. Without any shame, you have to take Vishnu's name. And then we say it in Tamil. Pada pada. You by singing you become a singer. So that is what this Vagindriya can do. There is another way of approaching Vishnu. The third way of approaching Vishnu is Kirtitaha. The last one is Pujitaha. Pujitaha means doing archana. Already we have said this in the beginning. Dhyayan stuvan amamsyanscha yajamanastamevacha. And when you do all that, what happens? Dussapranasanaha. He will take care of your dussapram. Dussapram also we say something.
Ramaskandam Hanumantam.
Karkotakasya nagasya damayantya nalasya cha rajarshehe kirtanam kalinasanam. Oh, that is kalinasanam. That's not dussapram.
I thought
Ramaskandam hanumantam vainade yambragodaram. Sayane yasmare nityam dussapram tasya nasyati. Yeah. So like that.
So where does this Nala story come? Here and
In the Mahabharata.
Mahabharata only Nala story
Yeah.
also.
There are five great kavyas in Sanskrit. Meghadutam, Raghuvamsham, Kumara Sambhavam. This Naishadham is the story of Nishedha Raja. Nishedha Raja is Nala. Naishadham Vidwattama. That's what they say. So it's a story of Nala. That story of Nala is full of dharma. So that by taking his name, you won't find Dussapram. Because all possible Dussapram he had in his story, you cannot have more horrific incidents. Your little fear of getting fired will become puny and trivial in front of Nala's story. Oh, this is okay, I can manage this. If Nala can do that, I can really manage. Always this Dussapram is lost not by saying, but by thinking. So eventually you have to think about it, the values which Nala stood for. That is what is going to take care of your fear. Okay, so Pujitascha Dussapranasanaha. The next one is Viraha. Viraha means a Kshatriya. Like Brahmaha means one who does not support Vedas, one who kills education. Brahmaha. Brahma means Veda. Brahma means a person who studies Veda. So one who does harm for this thing. It is called Brahmahatya. Like that Virahatya, people who rule and people don't like them because they rule very strongly, they might go and kill Parashurama did that, Vishnu. He did Virahatya. What did he do? Any Kshatriya, he will take care of him. So he had to go to Himalaya and he became a Chiranjeevi and he is doing Tapascharya to get rid of his Dushkriti. Because he had to kill all that Kshatriya. It was Viraha, it's a Papa. That is generally the name of Viraha. Here he says, Ha means Hanti, to kill. Veera means he does not say the valiant one, like I said, Kshatriya. He doesn't say that. Shankara says, Veera means Visheshena Ira. Ira means Gatau, who goes. So V means Vividham. Ra means going. Okay, what is Veera here? V means Vividham. Vividham means various. Vividhaha. What is Ra? Gati. What is Ra? Gati, movement. Ir Gatau. What are the various kinds of movement which the samsarins make? Well, it is all their aspirations. The aspirations of a normal samsari is very, very strange. It is vividham. It's not consistent with anyone. Each one has his own gati, his own trip. And that is what is causing trouble for him. Because he is trying to escape from himself, his ananda, and seeking sukham in this gati. That is what is causing trouble for him. That ha, Vishnu kills. Vishnu takes care of that with the gati. That is why he is called as Viraha. Because otherwise Viraha means a person who does Virahatya. Why would you call that in a stotram? You won't do a person's stotram. Hey, you are Virahatya. So that is why I just told the meaning of that conventional meaning of Virahatya. But here that will not become a stotram. When you say you are a Viraha, it won't be a stotram. So he split into Vi, Ira and Ha. Vi means Vividham, Ira means going, Ha means annihilating, destroying. So he destroys this various going, various movements, unnecessary back and forth of the samsaris. That is why he is called as Viraha. How does he do that? Mukti Pradhanena, by giving you freedom. Why are you going to that Florida or Bahamas? For freedom. You want to escape your normal rut. So when you have a meeting, why not? Let me go to few days, let me go alone and have a nice time. It's a good thing, But already if you have mukti, if you already found freedom, then you don't have to do that. So that mukti is the only way you can be, he can stop you from this suffering of becoming of samsaris. So what is trip for you is really suffering if you think about it. And it will be a very great loss for the tourism industry. All these Vedantins are the sworn enemies of entertainment industry. Vividaha samsaranaha mukti pradhanena hanti iti viraha. Then rakshanaha. Why does he give mukti? Because that is his day job. That is a duty of Vishnu. Why he is rakshanaha? He is the one who protects. How does he protect? Sattva gunam adhisthaya. Because he is always sattvikaha. Other gods, they will have other gunas. They will have rajoguna and tamoguna. But Vishnu only has, always he is in sattvam. If you don't have sattvam, you cannot maintain. Maintenance, the maintenance person has to know. If he does not know, he cannot maintain. And in order to know, he has to stay in sattvam. He cannot be passionate. He cannot get excited. Then he cannot maintain. So always Vishnu is in sattvam. And what does he do with that sattvagunam? Jagatrayam rakshati. He protects the worlds. Sattvam yattat parabhyam aparikalinataha nirmalam tena tavat. Vishnu is so nirmala. Why? What is nirmala? Not having any external element. Malam is dirt. Nirmala means having an external element, dirt. He does not have that. How does malam or dirt come into you? By parikalanam, by getting mixed up. By mixed up with what? By something other than sattvam. Other than sattvam, there are only two possibilities. Tamas and rajas. Ignorance and passion. Ignorance and passion. He does not have an iota of ignorance or passion. He always stays in sattvam.
But Parashurama had passion and anger.
There is avatara. All the Krishna also had. He became very angry when Bhishma put that arrow against Arjuna. But the avatars, their actions are like actions. Because the difference between our action and their action, Parashurama's coming and going is called Leela. Harehe Leelavataraha. So he does it for a purpose.
To prove a point.
To execute a purpose, to attain a result. It is like going for hunting. So you go and look at the lion on the face and kill it. See, that hunting trip, you go out full of freedom. don't look at it from the lion's perspective. Look at it from the king's perspective. From the king's perspective, this Mrigaya is just Leela. Or just any play. Forget hunting. Any play you do because you have the freedom. Anybody who is bonded, he cannot go and play. You have to play only when you have the resources. That is why it is called Leela. So Leela always comes from a place of freedom. Whereas Karma comes from a place of bondage. It is like your work. You are going to Cleveland Clinic. You are paid for that. You are treating cancer people. You cannot say I am doing seva. You can say to make you feel good. No, I'm just telling. You do seva means what? You cannot take anything out of it. You have to do, not taking money. That is volunteering. Volunteering is not seva. There is a difference between volunteering and seva. In volunteering, you don't expect any result. You are a good Samaritan. So you are doing it. Because goodness is natural to you. Human beings are good. But when you do seva, you are doing it for Vishnu Preeti. You are doing it for Parameshwara Preeti. You are doing it to please your dear. Who is your dear? Krishna is your dear. You are doing it to please him. And when you are doing something to please somebody, you are not under stress. If you are under stress, you are not actually trying to please somebody. You are completely free at that moment. So Bhagavan loves us. We being his creation, that is why he is doing that. He is doing the nishkama karma. He does not have any karma. He says that in the Gita, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srijidit prabhu na karma phala samyogam. I don't get into anything. Then how do people act? Swabhavaha. Because of their swabhava. They are acting like that. He does purely out of Leela. Hence, Parashurama's, all this anger, everything is not karma. He is not bonded by the law of karma to do all that. His purpose was to make the earth nikshatriyam, because they were doing all sorts of adharma. Kartivirya was doing adharma. Hence, Parashurama's actions comes from the place of freedom, which is Leela, playfulness, and yours comes from a place of ignorance. That is what is creating this cycle of kama, karma, avidya. Kama, karma, avidya.
So then why does he have to go and do paschatap?
To show the people, even if I am God, if I do an act, if somebody questions the chastity of Sita, though I am God, though she is Mahalakshmi, I cannot cross Maryada. I cannot cross the Maryada. So he wants to show the people. That's why we have Darbharanyam, Darbashayanam. Near Rameshwaram, Rama went and put Darba, this mat, and then slept one night. Why? Because he killed a Brahmin. He did Brahmahatya. Whom did he kill? Ravana. He was a Samavedi. So because of that, he doesn't have to do it. He did all sorts of wrong things. He was an Asura. He was Asurik. He was not a Vidwan. Though he was a Vidwan, he was Asurik. He had Asuri Prakriti. But then why did he do? To show the Maryada. Oh, Rama did not do this. So people can feel tomorrow that I am also like Bhagavan's avatara. A lot of people say that I am Kalki. They can say that. And then they can behave like that also. They can put a crown on their head, have a bow and arrow. So that to avoid that, then if you are like that, then walk to Sri Lanka. If you are really Vishnu's avatara, why don't you take a walk 10,000 miles? Walk from Ayodhya to all the way. You walk and come back. That is why he always chose the hard path. That is dharma. Dharma is always hard. Why? Because dharma means yajna. What is dharma? Sacrifice. And sacrifice is not easy. It is very fulfilling. Sacrifice is always fulfilling. There won't be Ramayana if Rama didn't go to forest. If he says, okay, stepmother said something, that's okay, we will work around it. we will give her a part. If he did that, there is no Ramayana. Because he sacrificed, he lived that life of dharma, he did that prayachitta. That is why he is Rama. So, Sattvam, always is Sattvika. Vishnu is always Sattvika. He does not get mixed up. He's Nirmala. He's Nirmala because he does not get mixed up with passion and ignorance. He always stays in Sattvam. That is why he is called as Rakshanaha. Only a person who is Sattvik, whose intentions are always law, following the law, is only he can protect. If he says that my daughter can have a 500 million deal in some island somewhere, then he cannot protect you. Because he himself is not, he has questionable law abidance. And if you have to be law abiding, if you have to be dharmic, then you have to be placed in Sattvam. Because what makes you break the law? Two things: ignorance, passion. You want to go to Taco Bell, so fast you go because you are hungry. That makes you transgress the speed limit. So it is a passion. Or you are blissfully ignorant. You didn't see. You thought it is 35, but it is actually 25 in darkness. That is all Tamoguna and Rajoguna. These two problems he does not have, Vishnu. Hence he is always stays in. Only such a person can be a Rakshanaha. Without Sattvam there is no protection. Sattvam gunam adhisthaya jagat trayam rakshati. The entire planet, the entire universe he protects. The next one is Santaha. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahisha go brahmanebhyah shubhasthu nityam loka samasthu